Please be seated. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you and your guests to this celebration today. It is the end of a period of a lot of hard work and sacrifice. Some of you undoubtedly will be leaving with substantial debts. But there is another form of indebtedness which it's important for us to remember on a day of joy and celebration like this. And that is the indebtedness that you owe to your family, to your friends, and to those who have supported you during your studies. And I hope that after this ceremony, you will all be able to go out and celebrate that indebtedness, that sense of being, that sense of gratitude to the staff, to the students who have been with you tonight.
I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Professor David Chiddick, to address the Assembly.
Pro-Chancellor, honoured guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, graduates. This is a day when we celebrate your success. As the Pro-Chancellor has said, this is a culmination of a great deal of hard work, but I hope some fun whilst you've been at the university. You may well be a very different person to when you came into the university. Perhaps a different outlook on life, new friends, new opportunities, new debts, but new foundations from which you can fashion your future careers and lifestyle. In the same period that you've been at the university, it has also been going through major changes and developing new foundations. In January 2001, the university set itself an ambitious mission and 3 targets. The mission was to develop a university of quality and distinction, and the 3 targets were to restructure the university, to improve its market profile, and to achieve high academic quality ratings. In terms of restructuring, the university has moved its base from Hull to Lincoln, transferred its Cottingham Road site to Hull University to facilitate the development of a medical school, which is so important to Hull and Yorkshire, begun the refurbishment of the university city campus in Hull, and we're now in the last stages of the process of moving the School of Architecture from Hull to a new building in Lincoln. Over the next 2 years, 2,000 student numbers will move from Hull to Lincoln, leaving a base of some 1,500 students in well-focused and prestigious programs in Hull City Centre, especially social work, computing and media technology, art and design, and business development. Throughout all this restructuring, the staff of the university have maintained their dedication to their students right up to and beyond the point where the Cottingham Road site transferred to Hull University. On your behalf, I thank them and pay tribute to them today. In October 2001, we also changed the name of the university. And if that were not enough, the university carried through a fundamental review of its academic portfolio, with the result that the failing and falling recruitment to the university was halted in 2001, turned round to achieve a positive increase in 2001-02, the University of Lincoln being one of only 2 new universities to increase its applications that year, leading to a position in May this year where the increase in the number of applications to this university for next session is higher than any other university in the UK, up nearly 25%. I'm sure this has much to do with the renaming of the university and the reprofiling of the academic portfolio. But it is also much to do with the fact that the students who graduate from this university are giving a very positive account of the experience they've enjoyed whilst here. And in the midst of all that change, the university was subject to a full institutional academic audit by the Quality Assurance Agency in May this year. The university achieved the highest grading possible in its academic quality and standards. This unconditional report also highlighted a number of areas of outstanding practice, including one which has been a constant throughout the university's restructuring and raising a profile, namely the level of pastoral and academic support provided to our students. Over the past 3 years, therefore, the university has been forging a tradition rather than following one. Every achievement makes our history rather than paling into insignificance against the accomplishments of our forebears. Everything we do carries risk, and everything we achieve without the risk materializing has been a triumph. One student celebrating her own personal achievement today is Jean Hardwick, who has overcome family difficulties and a debilitating sickness to complete her fine art degree at the Hull School of Art and Design. One of our many mature students, Jean completed an HND in Creative Studies at Hull College and then moved on to this university to study fine art. But in her second year, she began suffering from hyperacusis, an unusual intolerance of everyday sounds, which made it almost impossible for her to listen to lectures and study in the computer suites in the normal way. While studying with us, she's also had to deal with a number of family problems which stem from her husband's death 8 years ago. She nursed an elderly aunt for several years before her death. Her mother was very ill and she was rushed into hospital twice. She herself suffered 2 bouts of flu during her final year, and on completing preparations for her final year, she collapsed and was rushed to hospital to have her gallbladder removed. Despite all this, Jean achieved an upper second-class degree in fine art, and today we pay tribute to her resilience and her dedication. And whilst all of us here are celebrating the success of our graduates, we should pause for a moment to remember one young student who unfortunately is not with us here today. Lucien Arthur Brabazon-Hulings enrolled in the Hull School of Art and Design in 2000 and studied for 2 years on the Fine Art degree course. Were it not for his illness, he would have completed his degree course this year, and he'd been here today to collect his certificate with his fellow students. Sadly, Arthur died earlier this month, just a week after he married Sophie Seymour, a graduate of this university. Because of his illness, he was unable to continue his studies into his 3rd year, but we take this opportunity to pay tribute to him and to remember him as we congratulate his fellow students who are graduating in fine art today. Like all of you, the university has gone through a significant change over the last 3 years and laid foundations for its future development. It is not the university it was 3 years ago, and like you, it emerges from that process with a greater sense of maturity and self-confidence. Like you, the institution has also found a number of new friends around the world, but we'll never forget those who have supported us over the past 3 years. I know they're also able to take pride in the university's achievements and in the wisdom of their support. In the same way, your parents, guardians, friends, partners represented here today who have supported you through your studies can take pride in your success today. On your behalf, I thank them all. And finally, may I wish you every success in the future. Keep in touch with your university. As it grows and achieves even greater distinction, its successors will add further currency to your awards today. Be happy, make a difference to someone's life every day, and may your God go with you. Thank you.
Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, honoured guests and graduands, I am pleased to present to you Sir Terry Farrell, upon whom the governing body of this university has agreed to confer an honorary Doctorate of Arts. In 1982, Terry Farrell confounded a conservative British architectural establishment by producing a building of small scale but profound influence. The program was modest, a garden centre, but the context was grand, a site adjacent to Inigo Jones St. Paul's Church in Covent Garden. But, most important, it represented Britain's first foray into so-called postmodernism, an attitude towards architecture rather than a style, which suggested that architects had moved on beyond the arid constraints of mainstream modernism. POMO, as it became known, was to dominate all categories of British architecture for almost 2 decades. And Terry Farrell, through a series of brilliantly conceived buildings on prominent sites in the metropolis, emerged as the movement's high priest in Britain. All of these buildings, culminating in the Thameside Charing Cross Station and the MI6 headquarters building, demonstrate qualities which have characterized Sir Terry's entire architectural oeuvre. That is, a sympathetic response to physical context, an ability through his buildings to enhance the wider urban domain, clear functional planning, and stunningly inventive architectural expression. To the British, Farrell's architecture represented a welcome and dramatic shift from the fully worked seam of modernism, and his accessible architectural language appealed to long-standing British pluralist and picturesque tendencies. But the manifest qualities of Sir Terry's architecture have appealed to a wider, cosmopolitan clientele, crossing national and cultural boundaries to achieve real international acclaim. The Transportation Centre at Incheon International Airport, Seoul, Kowloon Station, Seattle Aquarium, and the striking tourist building for Hong Kong High Peak are all testament to the massive contribution that Sir Terry has made in establishing British architecture on the world stage. Whilst modernism, at least in its Western orthodoxy, offered seminal buildings and texts which were to dominate our architectural thinking for almost a century, it nevertheless failed to offer in parallel an acceptable and sustainable model for urban form. It was within this apparent vacuum that Terry Farrell established himself as an urban designer of international stature. At the city scale, his master plans for cities as diverse as London, Edinburgh, Lisbon, Hong Kong, Dubai, Seoul, demonstrate his familiar concerns for cultural and physical context, for generating a lively public domain, and for sensible functional planning. 2 decades on from that modest proposal for Covent Garden, the architectural establishment again anticipates a Farrell building, the new Home Office in Marsham Street, London, promises to redefine office typology. More parochially, Sir Terry has produced a master plan for Hull. When implemented, the integrity of a city destroyed by the Luftwaffe will finally be restored, an outcome which has evaded intervening generations of town planners. Moreover, the Deep, a recently completed Millennium project by Sir Terry, has, in its sheer formal bravado, quickly established itself as a much-needed regional symbol for Humberside. Terry Farrell was raised on Tyneside and was educated at the University of Durham. His buildings demonstrate an independence of spirit, no doubt reflecting his Geordie upbringing. Geordies were so called because of their allegiance to George II amidst a prevailing northeastern Jacobitism. These formative beginnings have since been dramatically revisited with his International Centre for Life in Newcastle upon Tyne. Such a distinguished oeuvre has received plaudits from pundit and public alike. Sir Terry's work has over the years won many prestigious architectural awards. 4 decades of exemplary practice in architecture and urban design have also brought personal recognition. In 1978, Terry Farrell was awarded the Order of the British Empire. In 1996, he was made Commander of the British Empire, and in 2001, he was elevated to a knighthood. Chancellor, in the context of these outstanding achievements in the arts, I invite you to confer upon Sir Terry Farrell the degree of Doctor of Arts honoris causa.
By the authority vested in me by the Academic Board and by the Board of Governors, I confer upon you the degree of Doctorate of Arts honoris causa, and I welcome you amongst us.
By the authority vested in me by the Academic Board, I am pleased to confer upon all of you the awards to which you are entitled. I call upon Professor Graham Wilkinson, Dean of Faculty, to read the names of award winners.
Chancellor and honoured guests, these are the names of the graduands receiving awards from the Faculty of Applied Computing Sciences. Degree of Master of Science in Engineering Manufacturing Systems, Chin Koon Wai, Leong Kok Hon. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Advertising and Marketing, Kevin John Becker. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Business and Information Technology, Sarah Jane Armitage. Christopher Henry Bailey. Paul Anthony Boddy. Andrea Burton. Gavin John Hudson. Anthony Edward Payne. Honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Osman Ahmad. Sin Yin Goe. Yor Hui Pua. Koon Soon Tan. Honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Engineering Aircraft Structures, Matthew Howard. Daniel Mark May. Adam John Sykes. Wayne Anthony Trousdale. Alan James Tugby, and Simon Peter Whiteley. Honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Engineering Electrical and Electronic, Lo Su Hong. Honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Engineering Mechanical and Electrical, Gary Howden with First Class Honours. Mark Middlecote with First Class Honours. Gary Parker. Lyndon Mark Poskett with First Class Honours and winner of the Faculty Prize for the Best Undergraduate in Engineering. Ioannis Salis. Martin Robert Scargill with First Class Honours. Sotiris Vogiatsogiou. Honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering and Manufacturing Systems, Weng Yik Ang. Seng Keat Chia with First Class Honours. And Aik Soon Tan. Keen Lip Tae, Gik Hong Yeep with first-class honours, and winner of the Valiac Prize, the Best Control Project in the final year. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Accountancy and Information Technology, Blair Andrew Stewart Roy, and Lamin Bobson Daniel Ture. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Advertising and Media Technology, Priti Danda, Joanna Mary Francis, and Nicholas Joseph Hallam. Christopher Michael Jordan, Gail Michelle Lindushka, and David Andrew Moon. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Business and Information Technology, Robert John Cameron, Catherine Dalgleish, and Noor Fansa. James McGoran, Andrew McKay, and Louise McKee. Graham Andrew Merritt, Daniel Parsons, Janet Lois Revell with first-class honours, and Andrew Duncan Spence. John Stamford, and Christian Guy Williams. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Business and Media Technology, Simon Christopher Pollard. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing, Barry Ernest Greenwood with first-class honours. James Harvey Kerr with first-class honours. Jonathan Paul Milner and Supawadi Sangwansup. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing, Games, Simulation and Virtual Reality, Matthew David Abbott. Daniel Leonard Bradburn, winner of the Faculty Prize, the Best Full-Time Undergraduate in Computing. John James Samuel Cricket, and Robert David Rees Delbridge. Mark Dickinson, David Mark Eves, Stephen Ian Ellis, and Adam Fitzgibbons. Matthew Ryan Gaffney, Richard Stephen Healy, Benjamin John Humphreys, and Philip Johnson. Stephen Joyce, Kevin Sean Kelly, Paul Linfield, and Adam Michael William Lynch. Adam Noel Charles McCartan Mooney, Charles William Milgate, Amber Moore, and Matthew Robert Morton. George Peter Muzuru, James Jonathan Parker, Graham Ronald Parkings, and Kalpesh Patel. Dominic William Peachy, Jason David Shepard, Robert James Stevens, and Adam Richard Tudor. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Internet Systems, Michael Mitchell. Gary Peter Morley with first class honours, and Leah Parker. Simon Matthew Pike and Susan Leslie Sweeney. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Internet Technologies, Robert Scott Allen, Pierre Marcus Dunker, Matthew Joseph Hackett, and Neil Alex Jenner. Benjamin James Marvell, April Nicole Sin, Christopher John Taylor, and Snezana Vitkovic. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Internet Technologies, Carl Daniel Heaton. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Internet Technologies and Media Technology, Graham Millar, and Sheetal Patel. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Multimedia Systems Development, Nurjana Org Bakar, Willowstorm Calavandriel Griffiths Scott, John Christopher Harding, and Evstratios Pantelis. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Network Systems Support and Management, Stephen Anderson, Richard Andrew Bell, and Melanie Joanne Dolitzal. Darren Stephen Flanagan, Christopher Mark Hayden, and Matthew Hunt. Anthony Charles King, Kyriakos Kolivas, and Kieran Jamie O'Neill. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Internet Technologies, Kenneth Robert Arnold with first class honours. Kenneth George Bearpark with first class honours. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Software Development, Stephen Richard Akehurst, Bruce William Brown, and Amy Corner. Lilina Hussain and Stuart James Leonard. Louise Elizabeth Lewis, Martin Anthony Plale, and Derek Rooney. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing and Information Technology, Farah Shea Lodin. Margaret Redding with First Class Honours, and Chi Seng Soon. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing and Media Technology, Ben Lee. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Electronics and Communication Systems, Paul Stephen Savory. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Electronics and Control Systems, Paul David Anderson. Stephen Michael Adam Grundy, and David Jonathan Muller. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Mechanical and Manufacturing, Paul Stephen Gelling, and Terence Frank Lawton. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Information Technology and Media Technology, Krishan Askuram, and Wei Wei Quinn. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and Manufacturing Systems, Craig Martin Adams, Charles Asiedu, and Paul Van. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Media Technology, Gary Baker, winner of the Anne Leslie Prize for Endeavour. Luke William Collinson, Francis Cuthbert, and Anthony Jackson. David Michael Kenny, Jagjit Kayla, Thomas Daniel Mitchell with First Class Honours, and Colin Ramsey, winner of the Faculty Prize, the most outstanding student in the final year of Media Technology. Sarah Louise Rankin, Graham Robinson with First Class Honours, Liam John Webster, and Max Gavin Williams. Higher National Diploma in Media Technology, Wayne Andrew Freer. Higher National Certificate in Engineering, Wayne Francis Hedges and John Robert Winter. Higher National Certificate in Engineering, Mechanical and Manufacture, Joanne Henderson, Stephen Jones, and Oliver David Lee. Daniel Shakespeare, Michael Waddy, and Victoria Worth. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing, Internet Technologies, Darren Keith Wilbur Alexander. Paula Joy Millam. Rania Samour, Simon Kenneth George Story, and Craig Valentine. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Internet Technologies, Stephen John Cook. Peter James Gould with First Class Honours, and Joanne Hillier. Andrew Kevin O'Sullivan and Samantha Kate Slater. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing, Network Systems and Management, Gurpreet Bogal, Lewis Mason, and Jennings Christopher Musama. Vikash Rhoda and Robin Andrew Wright. I now call upon Mr. Derek Cottrell, Head of Architecture, to read the names of graduands receiving awards from the Faculty of Art, Architecture and Design.
Chancellor and honoured guests, these are the names of the graduands receiving awards from the Faculty of Art, Architecture and Design. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Animation, Andrew James Barber, Lee Chambers, Emma Elizabeth Colley, Sean Crawford. Lee Peter Donnelly, Kimberly Jane Emson with First Class Honours, Christina Tatiana Fleming Huberts, Neil John Fletcher. Andrew Paul Hosking with First Class Honours, Benjamin Simon Kendall, Heather Jane Keenel, Karen Elizabeth Latter. John Sue Yip Lee with First Class Honours, Neil MacArthur, Anne Marie McAvoy, and Asher Mistry. Adam Morley, Andrew Allen Morris, Elaine Orms, Sian Porter, winner of the Hull School of Art and Design Prize for the Best Performance in Theory. Angela Francis Potter, Thomas James Power, Hugh Alwyn Rain. Craig Mitchell Ramsden, Darren Paul Rodriguez, with First Class Honours, winner of the Dean's Prize for the Best Performing Undergraduate. And Simon Paul Smalley with First Class Honours. Rebecca Mary Smith, Adam George Thomas, and Danny Wilkins. Degree of Bachelor of Arts in Animation, Philip James Sheenan. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Architecture, Stephen David Bucknell, Daniel Stephen Burrows, James Dale with first-class honours, joint nominee for the RIBA Yorkshire White Rose Student Prize. Nicholas James Fenton, Dawn Michelle Halstead and Amanda Jane Lambert. Charlotte Louise Morgan, Sarah Joanne Nicholson, winner of the Mick Paxton Award for Academic Achievement, Kevin Ramasur, and Neil James Rogers. Richard Mark Rao, Simon Adam Vickers with first-class honours and joint nominee for the RIBA Yorkshire White Rose Student Prize, Jonathan Christopher Watson and Richard Wright. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Fine Arts, Claire Campbell Hamilton, winner of the George Shepherd Prize, the George Shepherd Memorial Prize for Hull School of Art and Design. Barnaby John Newsom Cooper, David Frederick Davies and Peter Anthony Farron. Timothy Peter Fenton, Jean Hardwick, winner of the Hull School of Art and Design Prize for Endeavour in the Field of Art, and Philip Anthony Ingledew. Julie Elizabeth Roebuck with first-class honours, Oliver Metcalf Semple, Michael Peter Thomas with first-class honours, winner of the Hull School of Art and Design Prize for the Best Performance in Art Theory. Pamela Ann Wielden, Nicholas Dietrich Williams and Stephen Philip Woodford. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Graphic Design, Chloe Ackroyd, Olivia Francesca Adams, Oliver Joseph Michael Barry, Stuart Bateman. Tapindabal Singh Buller, Peter William Bradney, Alan Brown, and Jennifer Erin Brownsea. Emma Jane Marcia Campbell, Jonathan Cervantes, Jonathan L. Duggleby, and James Borton Foster. Karen Elizabeth Gauntley, Tom Jackson Gilbert, Mark Richards Greaves, Amanda Jane Grimbleby. Gareth Dufford Hancock, Sarah Louise Hathaway, Owen George Hender, and Ian Robert Hislop. Simon Alan Hodgkinson, Susan Angela Hodgson, Samuel David Holt, Cerise Nicole Hunt. Nicola Joanne Irvin, Jennifer Eliza James, Sarah Anis Jenkins and Vincent Johnson. Amanda Lee Kirkwood, Nicola Jane Kitching, Deborah Link and Chi Trung Lu. Nina Joan McCulloch, Gavin James McEwen, Daniel Kieran McGee with first class honours, and Matthew Christian Nicolini. Lee Nugent, Lee Pantelis Petru, Rebecca Jane Powell, and Lee Prescott. Paul Anthony Roberts, Emma Dawn Smith, Mark William Stockton, and Matthew Alexander Tabakos. Stuart James Taylor, Paul Stephen Oliver Watson, Aaron Ian Weatherston, and Michael George Wilkinson with first class honours. Mark Nathan Willits, Matthew Paul Williamson, Emma Wise, and Stephen David Yates. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Illustration, Andre Asibe Abogai, Katie Eleanor Barnum, Matthew Barrett, and Stephen Daniel Collins. Benedict Matthew Delasso, Lisa Marie Dolman, Graham Duncan Elder, Ashield Forland with first class honours. Jonathan Alfred France, Kieran Gardens, Lisa Mary Gillard, and Alison Goodall. Kevin Mark Harris, Jennifer Susan Hill, joint winner of the European Illustration Collection Illustration Prize, Andrew Ian Kirk, Rebecca Sarah Makin, joint winner of the European Illustration Collection Illustration Prize. Suzanne Jane Oddy, J.D. Pedge with first class honours, Sean Anthony Reedy, and Lindsay Sharp. Sarah Lorraine Stride, Benjamin James Rees Summers, and Rosemary Hilary Thompson. Paula Jane Took, Kirsty Louise Vesey, and Judy Yuan Yi Wan. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Interactive Design, Gregory Charles Brandt, James Charlton, John Andre Guy, and Stuart Hall. Rachel Helen McLaughlin, Robert Francis Peake, and Mark Ian Wood. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Interior Design, Jonathan Mark Anderson, Keith Anderson, Baharash Bagirian, and Lindsay Michelle Foles. Joanne Marie Harrod, Nicola Louise Julian, Alice Mary Kent. Fiona Kigano, Gareth John Marshall, and Catherine Hannah Mitchell. Harpreet Kaur Moore, Donna Marie Murphy, and Richard Craig Nicholson. Victoria Jane Smythe, Craig Taylor, and Antoinette Woodhouse. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Museum and Exhibition Design, Christopher Andrew Barley, Angela Catherine Benson, Chi Sung Chu, and Eleanor Martha Coombs. Benjamin Paul Dowson, nominee for the Tile Young Designer Award, Claire Louise Henderson, Chi Ming Hung, and Stephen David Howden. Ji Qing Mary Lam, Hui Ling Evelyn Lee, Su Yi Irene Lowe, and Jan McNiven. Laura Ann McGuinness, winner of the Whole School of Art and Design for the most improved student on the third year of BA Hons Museum and Exhibition Design, Benjamin Thomas Sullivan, Sarah Elizabeth Wellock, and Emma Louise Wrigley. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Phonic Arts, Alistair Turner Aitken with First Class Honours, Lucy Claire Giles, Scott Thomas Langthorpe, and Christopher William Rigg. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Television and Film Design, Peter Lewis Bayton, Tessa Hazel Cannon, joint winner of the Whole School of Art and Design Prize for endeavour in the field of design, William Monaghan Clark, and Lauren Tony Cracknell. Kerry Crichton, Anthony Mark Fieldsend, Claire Louise Gammon. Russell James Hollis, Simon Paul Hustings, Kate Alexandra Langan, and Alexis George Lodge. Susan McNee, Claire Louise Nightingale, John Anthony O'Lone, and Timothy John Bruce. James Thomas Robinson with First Class Honours, Justin William Tagg with First Class Honours, and Colin Stephen Waddington with First Class Honours. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Architectural Technology, Stephen Dennis Barrett with First Class Honours, Emmett Corrigan with First Class Honours and winner of the joint John Watson and Carter Prize for the Best Overall Performance in Architectural Technology, Ivan Crook and Peter Halley. Cathal Patrick McGee, Barry Rice, and Terence Thomas Winders. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing Software Development, Tokunbo Aina. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Architecture, Mary Saradinu. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing, Network Systems, Support and Management, Matthew Alexander Long. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Film and Television Studies, Amor Chopra. Honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Engineering Mechanical Electrical, David Thompson. Honours degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing, Network Systems, Support and Management, Stephen Lenton. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Interactive Design, Saulius Balandis. Honours degree of Science in Computing Software Development, Barry Lee Newton. Honours degree of Bachelor of Arts in Interactive Design, Daniel Mark Northall. That concludes the presentation of awards today.
I now call upon our honorary graduate, Sir Terry Farrell, to address the Assembly.
Well, may I thank you very much for the honour you bestowed on me today, and to Professor Peter Fawcett for his oration. It's 40 years ago that I graduated from Newcastle-on-Tyne, my hometown. And I've seen that city change so much during the last 40 years. And it's been quite an interesting change of all the northern cities during the last 40, 50 years. And Hull is no exception in seeing all those changes. They are extraordinarily strong places, our northern cities. Newcastle with its famous bridges, and now a new bridge being added. And Hull with its fine buildings, and Manchester and Liverpool, and all these great cities of the north, I often think, are the pride of Great Britain in terms of urban design and architecture. But during the last 40, 50 years, with the Luftwaffe's bombing in the Second World War, and particularly with the changing shape of industry and the decline of major industries, so that the engine that drove Great Britain, the northern cities, had to change, and it went through a period of decline. A period of decline that was, through planners and traffic engineers and politicians, accelerated somewhat by planning new towns that took people's attention and investment away from these great towns and cities. And attempts were made to modernize these cities that didn't succeed, with new roads and other things that were dumped on cities. And Hull is no exception, with a road that runs to the docks, right, dividing the city from the River Humber. Newcastle-on-Tyne had major roads driven right through it. But we are now going through an extraordinary time, the last 4 or 5 years, of urban renaissance. I'm sure many politicians would like to claim it's entirely due to them, but the revolution in attitude to our urban cities, our great urban cities and towns, has come from many different aspects. It's come from a decision not to invest anymore in out-of-town shopping centres and in new towns, to concentrate investment into the towns and cities themselves. And it's particularly come about from a youth-based energy that's come from the expansion of university and further education. And no more cities exemplify this than Newcastle does, or Hull, or indeed as Lincoln is beginning to do. And I think it's this great drive of youth to change, combined with great arts programs, a shift away from industry to realizing that tourism and art-based industries, as well as education, are major drivers today. And art-based centres like the Baltic in Newcastle and the new arts centre that will happen here at the Fruit Market in Hull, all of these linked to education, linked to the arts, and it's a very far cry from when I said I wanted to study art or architecture at school, and my parents thought that would lead to no future at all. What a big change it's been, with also computers adding to the potential of the creativity that you can bring. Lincoln University will be charged with, Lincoln itself will be charged with the new energy from its university, and that city will go through a great time of change. The new School of Architecture, and I believe this is the last graduation for architects here from the school, and the end of an era and the beginning of a new one in Rick Mather's fine building. What I'm fascinated about today is the convergence of things. We all have our own specializations, and there's a list of different degrees and different sectors of degrees awarded today. But the convergence of things is equally interesting. When one goes and looks at the different disciplines and how they work, they're invariably sitting in front of computer screens, whether they're lawyers or accountants, whether they're planners, architects, or even artists and graphic designers. The similarities in their work shape and what they do is converging. And I think that convergence is the essence of town making, of place making. I like to think place making is going to be one of the great arts of communities in the future. All places are made by layering the work of many hands over time. So I would like to give my best wishes to the future of the cities of Hull and to Lincoln in this time of change, growth, and incredible interest in their future. And I'm convinced that their futures will be bright, building on the great strengths that they have. My best wishes to all the graduates today, and what I wish them to do is to go out and collectively make our built places even finer. Thank you.
We would now like to ask Mr. Darren Rodriguez, who is representing our students today, to give a vote of thanks.
Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, honoured guests, graduates, family and friends, thank you all for attending today. I feel very honoured to be standing here on this prestigious occasion in all of our lives, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to address you all this afternoon. I'd like to start off by making a personal thank you, and that's to my parents. Mum, Dad, I just want you to know, you're sitting down there, I couldn't have done any of this without you, and I'll always be indebted to you for your unfailing love, help and support. Perhaps we should all take this moment to thank our own respective loved ones and anyone else close to us that's enabled us to be here today. So here we are, a culmination of 3 years of hard work. Over the past 3 years, we've all witnessed a lot of changes. New campuses and courses have sprung up, old campuses have moved or closed, and staff and management have changed. But more important than this, I've witnessed changes in myself and in others. I've grown academically, emotionally and physically, and I've seen others do the same. I've seen people start as youngsters and grow into mature, sound and genuinely good people. For this, I'm especially grateful and proud. To see people develop as human beings and to share in that development is a truly precious thing, and in my opinion is a real meaning behind a university. It's not just a place to get a degree or have a good time. It's a place of growth and enlightenment, both intellectually and emotionally. To be able to play a part in someone's education is a profound and important activity and should never be undermined. As changes are made to the academic and physical structure of this university, the fundamental principle should always remain the same, and that is the students and their development are what make the university what it is. Therefore, I would like, on behalf of all those graduating in 2003, to say thank you to the University of Lincoln and all its staff for giving us the opportunity to better ourselves and find out more about who we really are. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Darren. And that concludes this ceremony of graduation. Thank you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.